All right. I forgot to do the 30-second countdown. All right. This is the kind of shit show you guys should be expecting from one Dr. Evil. Good afternoon if you're here on the East Coast. Good morning, everybody left of the East Coast. And good morning, good afternoon, good night to pretty much the rest of the motherfucking world. I am Dr. Evil Genius. And of course, if you see me with my big ass face in your fucking face, and that means that there's no Captain Paul today. No Captain Paul, as you probably have seen, if you are a loyal fan of one Louis Rossman, you'll know that he's on a boat doing shit that people do when they're on a boat, whatever the fuck that is. So shout out to Captain Paul. Apparently he's the captain now, but somewhere else. I'm the captain of this ship today. So I want to kind of reset what the Talking Ship podcast is, because a very good friend of mine, one Louis Rossman, he appeared as a guest on our second episode, and he then realized, or I realized, that there was no way that I was going to be able to tag Mr. Rossman because his channel is brand spanking new. So, YouTube doesn't allow tagging of content creators until you've reached 1,000 subscribers. There's a whole lot of stuff that they put behind the 1,000 subscriber wall. And I've been on YouTube a long time. Obviously, Dr. Evil. You can spell out Dr. Evil Genius. Put it all in one word. You'll find me. I'm like 160 something away from 1,000. But there's so much that they put behind the 1,000 subscriber wall, because I guess they believe that if you have less than 1,000 subscribers, you're going to say all the bad words. And then when you hit 1,000 subscribers, you're not going to say any of the bad words. Yeah, I'm probably still going to say some of those bad words, because I am who I am. But anyway, so Louis Rossman put up on his community tab a link to the episode that he appeared on. And over here on TSP, we show appreciation for those who collaborate with us. So again, a huge thanks to my really good friend, Louis Rossman. One of the things that I really appreciated about that experience, like kind of watching people kind of get behind us just because we're associated with Louis, is not that I felt like they loved us any. You know, we've got love for y'all, you know, for the support, but that's not what impresses me. What impresses me is the love that you guys have for Louis. And I remember the very first time I walked down the street with Louis Rossman, and some young man stopped us on the street and recognized him. This is back when Louis had like 435,000 subscribers, somewhere in that range. It was under 450K. This goes back to 2017, 2018. I think it was 2018. You know, time goes fast when you're stuck at home because of the Rona. And I remember this guy stopping him on the street, and the utter dismay, the horror on Louis's face, because someone on the street recognized him. And I just kind of chuckled inside until it happened again And it happened again, and I really started to grasp the gravity of what Lewis was doing, because, even back then, when I took him on as a client, I really didn't know Lewis that well. I was just like, okay, he's repairing MacBooks and he's putting tutorials up. I was shocked that he had 435,000 subscribers at the time. But, it reminds me that education has nothing to do with what university you go to. Nowadays, you can just go on YouTube and there's somebody that's going to teach you how to do something. So, Lewis definitely was bringing value to the people. And that is something that I truly, truly appreciated. And, even though like I have a background in information technology and, I've done desktop support stuff, I was never like a component level repair. It was just kind of like, if this shit doesn't work, swap the shit out, turn the shit on. If it works, great. Most of the work that I did was resetting end user passwords because they would forget them all the time. I mean, that's pretty much what I did, right? I didn't do anything close to what Lewis was doing on his channel, and to have random people in the street recognize him was fucking crazy to me. I was like, holy shit. He might be a celebrity one day, I'm thinking. And then there was Comic-Con 2019. This is here in New York. It was like the first week of October 2019. And my guys, Coheed and Cambria, was at Comic-Con, and then they're like, well, we're releasing a new album. Oh, and by the way, we're going to be at the Hard Rock Cafe in Times Square. And I said, holy fucking shit. And this is like when my friendship with Lewis like really solidified. I had left the company I was working for. I was out on my own. Lewis was one of the few people who pledged to go along with me as I went solo. He's one of the few people that actually stepped up and like followed me where I was going. Back then, his store was on First Avenue between 11th and 12th Street. He had to go to the west side to come work out with me, and he did so anyway. Like, that's who he was. So we had a little bit more than just your, typical client, trainer, friendly relationship. Like, he was, like, really a good friend of mine, as so I felt. So, here's Comic-Con 2019. And I'm like, you know what? I want to go to this special show because they were expensive and they just announced it and you had to like hop on it. I bought 4 tickets to that show. Obviously for myself, for my first lady, for my second lady, and for Louis Rossman. Now, Louis will tell you he's not a Coheed and Cambria fan, but he understood the gesture that I was making when I bought him that ticket. It was a very special show. I was super excited about it. And, even though he's not really a Coheed guy, he came through, and it was a very special thing for me. But what I found to be really funny was that, of course, I was trying to drive to the show. Anybody who knows New York knows that's a bad experience. On a Friday evening, trying to drive towards Times Square, I probably would have had a better shot at asking Michelle Rodriguez out on a date than getting there in good time. So, of course, Lewis is on his makeshift bicycle, where he frequently risks roasting his nuts over an electrical battery fire. And he goes in line, and some massive person is like, oh my God, you're Louis Rossmann. Like, I wasn't here for this, but by the time my lady showed up, they were looking at them like, holy fuck, Louis Rossmann is for real. Like, anywhere he goes, people recognize him. And this is well before, you know, him moving the store, well before Eugene, well before, you know, the series that he had with the New York City real estate that pushed him up over 1 million subscribers. That was crazy. The CBC News piece, when I saw that blow up, and we've got stories about, you know, things that happen around that time as well. It's just crazy that the guy that I have these existential philosophical conversations with in the gym at a pretty high decibel level, just who I am. Like, he's damn near a household name at this point. It fucks me up every time. Like, just somebody that I just know who's very unassuming. You know, a lot of people, you know, I know a lot of people hold Louis in high regard, but Louis Rossmann does not hold himself in high regard. Not really. So, you know, to look back on my time knowing Louis, is just astonishing, and I have a lot of gratitude. A lot of my gratitude from dealing with Louis does not come from, you know, what I stand to gain, or, you know, from, you know, collaborating with someone on his level. I mean, I guess you could say it's pretty obvious. Before Louis ever said anything about my channel, I had maybe 600 some odd subscribers over 8 years plus on YouTube. And then it was like almost overnight, it was like 200 subscribers just from co-hosting a live on his secondary channel. You know, so I know that it may seem obvious, like, oh, you know, Dr. Evil has so much to gain from his friendship with Louis. And I don't deny that. I'm not running away from that at all. But I do have a large measure of appreciation for him as a human being. I have a large appreciation for who Rossmann is as a business person who got it out the mud. You know, he didn't get a small $1 million loan from his father. He had to, like, really scrounge up the information necessary to become an expert at something. Scrounge up information on how to create a business. Scrounge up information on how to expand that business. I hold him in high regard, whether he holds himself in high regard or not. We get a check-in from my co-host, who really should be with his ginger ass next to me, but instead, he's in the comments section. Captain Paul, Louis is a pretty cool dude from what I can tell by what you told me and his overall demeanor. I mean, yeah. You know, there's no mistake in that. There's a lot of guys in the tech field who are really feeling themselves. Louis is not one of them. And those are the people that I tend to get along with on a regular basis. You know? We've got a retort. Bro, I texted you to have you send an invite. So what we're going to do is we are going to get this young man we're going to get this young man in here because he is supposed to be co-hosting the show, okay? So we're going to have a little bit of a cameo appearance from my co-host as soon as he recognizes what's going on in the Discord. But anyway, so, one of the things that I really appreciated is that I'm very familiar with the typical Louis Rossmann fan. The typical Louis Rossmann fan does not exist because they scan the gamut. They span the gamut. The typical Louis Rossmann fan is all over the world. Their political views are all over the spectrum. I will tell you one thing. The intelligence level is unmistakable for the vast majority of them. All right? So before I continue on this, we're going to bring our boy Captain Paul in here.
What's going on, man?
All right. Talk to us. Are you still the captain?
I'm definitely in you, for sure. You know what I mean?
Pause. Hey, yo. Yo. Yo,
that's
like, you know how easy it is for me to remove you from this? Like, I got my finger on the trigger. Pause. Whoa.
Oh.
Holy fuck. Oh, shit. Woo.
Yo, what's going on, man? What's going on, buddy?
How you doing, Captain?
Doing good, man. Just working. Figured I have some downtime. Get on the pod there for a bit. Audio's not going to be amazing, but I did order that mic. So when I get home, I'll be able to have that. So a little bit more audio.
All right. So, we've made it clear here on TSP, we don't just talk the talk. I walked the walk and he rows the boat. So, he's, you know what I'm saying? But much love to you, Paul. Paul, I'm pretty sure that you have a couple of things to say. I know that you put the video out. I know you put the video out where you are, but I guess you can give your little bit about your limited experience to this point communicating with Louis.
Louis honestly just seems like a very chill dude, very down to earth. You know what I mean? Like he just even from that small exchange we had on the podcast for a limited amount of time, he just down to earth. He just seemed like a regular dude. Like he didn't have this huge inflated ego that a lot of people can have. And from what you've told me,
that 1 million subscriber ego.
Yeah, dude, we both even had experiences with dudes that with way lesser channel subscribers that would have that massive ego, I'm too good to talk to you type shit.
Oh yeah, the 100,000 subscriber ego. Right? That 100,000 subscriber, that 250,000 subscriber ego.
Shoot. Did I get disconnected?
You're frozen, buddy. That smile is unmistakable. Unfortunately, it's stuck. Did we get you back, Captain? No, we didn't. So anyway, one of the things I really enjoyed is something that most content creators will shy away from. We got the smoke from one of his fans who listened and saw that, I had some very pointed things to say. I had some very pointed things to say about accountability. More specifically, the accountability that women in our society should have. And she starts off with a really emotional, your typical detractor, hater emotional response. But when I called her out on it, instead of doubling down on it, she actually opened up and had a conversation. So shout out to that young lady. She may or may not follow our show, but I do appreciate her leveling with us. And like I told her, and I think Captain, you saw it in the comments, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to talk to us about our views on the eroding dynamics between the sexes in Western society, you're more than welcome to talk to us.
For sure.
So shout out to you. I'm not going to mention your name because that wouldn't be fair. But you know who you are. And, the only thing you have to do is hit us up. Hit us up on the Gmail. We'll get the correspondence going. We'll get you a link to the show. And, you can espouse your views. We're not just here for the people that agree with us.
No.
This email address is for anybody that has a story they want us to cover, for anybody that has their own story that they want to have evaluated. And it doesn't matter what the subject is. We're not going to shy away from it. So just putting that out there, we're not shying away from anything. If you got a problem with Dr. Evil, if you got a problem with Captain Ginger, you bring it right to us.
Yo.
You bring it right to us, and we'll have a conversation. We're not afraid of the conversation. That's what we're here for. The reason why we created this platform is because people forgot how to disagree. And we're going to show people how you can disagree in a constructive setting. At least until you get disrespectful. Then
you gotta.
Dr. D's nuts and Papa Thunder come out.
Yo, for sure. No, you're not wrong.
We're not afraid.
No.
But as long as you want to have the discourse, you want to have the conversation, we are here for you. So, again, much, much love to the venerable Louis Rossman. And is there anything else you want to say before I go into this article?
It just sucks as I don't know if you guys can see, but I'm like literally on the water. So, my connection dropped. But I'm just gonna say this: Louis is a mad, down earth dude. Seems like you're just a genuine dude, and like, honestly, man, like, just you watch his videos and they're informative, but it makes you like really appreciate him and like him even more when you get to know him. So he's not like fake, which it's just so rare to find. Even offline, like non-million subscriber channels, there's a lot of fake people out there, if you know what I mean. So his genuine personality and just his genuine nature is like super appreciated, at least from my end. So.
Right. Yeah, I definitely have to concur with that. In fact, like I said, I thought he was a Mexican day laborer when I met him. I didn't even know if the motherfucker could speak English. At the time, he had over 400,000 subscribers on YouTube doing component level motherboard repairs on Macs.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Ola?
Like,
did
so.
Did you say Ola or some shit? And you're like, yo. Like,
No. I see. I'm one of these people that I could have a preconception of somebody and still behave as if I don't, because I know that I can be wrong. So since I know I can be wrong, I operate as if I'm wrong. So I always take the safe road when talking to people. So when I approached him, I spoke to him in clear fucking English, and then he spoke English to me back in this Guido tone, and I was just like, okay, all right. We got somebody that can speak English. Yeah. Right?
Shit.
You know, I do what I do as far as helping people. He was receptive because he understood that he's an expert when it comes to MacBook repair. He's not an expert when it comes to picking things up and putting them down. Okay? And just like he wanted people to pay a decent rate for his service, not overpricing, but a decent rate for his services. When he asked for my rate for my services, I gave him a decent rate. He didn't ask for any discounts. He just paid the rate.
Which is good.
That's the kind of man that Louis Rossmann is. So, you know, if anybody wanted to know, the way that you see him on the internet, that's the real Louis. That is the real Louis. And speaking of Louis, I'm going to cover a couple of articles that would be near and dear to Louis's heart. We're going to start off with this. Now, I don't really fuck with too much of the left-leaning or too much of the right-leaning. And the Washington Examiner, from what I've seen, slanted is not the word. Not the word to use. They're very firmly biased. However, I don't give a fuck where the truth comes from. I'm going to point it out and give props. So props to the Washington Examiner. The Federal Trade Commission enters the fray over right to repair. Yay. The Federal Trade Commission released a report that revealed the demanding costs companies create by limiting a customer's ability to repair their tech products. For several years, tech companies have made it difficult, if not impossible, for a customer to repair a device they own. For example, Apple designed its AirPods explicitly to keep owners from replacing the batteries, estimated to last 18 months, without destroying them. Customers typically have to buy new ones or pay for replacements that still cost nearly $100. In another example, researchers found the Microsoft Surface laptop to be impossible to repair without directly damaging the device. Okay? But I'm not here to reread news articles to you. As I was reading this article, and it was really, really nice to see that the FTC put this out here, and I'm going to save this I'm going to open this article in a new tab here. The FTC issued a report nixing the fix, an FTC report to Congress on repair restrictions. Okay? So, you have a government agency that titles the report in a way that directly contradicts the premise that companies like Apple have been putting out there saying, we don't prevent you from fixing your materials. No, we don't do that.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
But we're talking about the Federal Trade Commission is saying otherwise. Initially inspired by a workshop in 2019, the FTC spent nearly 2 years delving into the specific data points and complaints that consumers, companies, and advocates all had about the state of repairability among consumer devices. Over that period, the FTC found several intentional design choices that limited the ability to repair a device. These included making parts inaccessible, imposing software locks, enforcing patents, and requiring users to use company-certified repair services. Many of the companies researched by the FTC for this report claimed that allowing third parties to repair devices lead to personal injury. The FTC determined that manufacturers could not provide any evidence to support their argument that injuries are tied to repairs performed by consumers or independent repair shops. And you already know that these stories are bullshit on their face.
Yeah,
right?
That's the thing. You could honestly just smell the bullshit like a mile away if injury for like replacing a battery or replacing a certain component in an electronic device. I feel like that is just like one of the weakest excuses you could have used. You could have just said, like, I don't know, the way we construct the device, it just makes it impractical to do outside repairs, or impractical to make repair on units as a whole. I feel like that'd be a far more feasible argument, but to say injury is the main, that's just like some weak bullshit. Like, come on, they just want to make sure that it's like, okay, let's make this impossible to fix. Let's make this impossible to repair. So you have to go spend another couple $100 on a new device, or like $150, $100 on a used device, or refurbished. It doesn't really shock me though. I just think we need to really have more transparency when it comes to these companies, and we should be allowed to modify, repair any device that we obtain. Like that be.
I think you just uttered a dirty word that YouTube is going to end up taking down this episode of the Talking Shit podcast.
What dirty word is that?
You just said transparency.
Oh shit! Oh, you're right. I apologize.
How dare you? The fuck is? Yo, first of all, you come in here talking that happy shit.
Yeah.
That pause shit. Right?
Yeah.
Now you're talking about corporations being transparent. Yo, are you inhaling fumes on that boat?
Maybe. I was just painting.
I mean, you sound like you're in the Matrix. Like,
yeah.
You sound like you're about to be forcefully jacked out and then, killed.
Well, yeah, maybe jacked off. But I think honestly, man, it's just kind of ludicrous that these companies have these practices, that they make it this difficult for somebody. That'd be like me or you having a car, not saying, like, essentially saying, oh, you can only go to our mechanic. Which they actually try to do. Like Lewis mentioned that before, like allowing like mechanics to have the diagnostic computers, the technology to properly work on vehicles. It's just like it'd be just something like that where you can't just repair your own vehicle or like repair even a bicycle, right? That's just it's absurd. Now more than ever, like the everyday consumer is very technologically, Jesus, can't speak, very advanced, I should say, with their knowledge, right? Like there's a lot more people at home that can look up tutorials, or you can just kind of get just any type of knowledge online, so they can actually figure out how to like solder, or figure out how to work on a motherboard, or build their own computer, or work on their own wiring, doing electrical wiring, all that stuff. It's so much more expensive it's so much more accessible these days that I think what these companies' viewpoint is so archaic. It's kind of like Nintendo, like when they were releasing stuff for their video games back in the day, like they had to make sure that it was like licensed by Nintendo, like on the NES and stuff like that, or the SNES. It's kind of like that. You know what I mean? Like they're just trying to hoard as much as control as possible. Or no, but yeah, just have as much control as possible, so they can get more money from it. You know, I don't know. I don't understand how these companies still have this outdated way of thinking, and how I don't know. I think the right to repair isn't necessarily as covered heavily as it should be. I don't even think a lot of everyday consumers even know about this, like the issues that are currently going on, and how these companies are just essentially manipulating you so that you can get like spend so much money on a device that they know faulty when they make it. Like you said, what was it, 18 months battery life on those on those Apple
On the AirPods.
headphones, on the AirPods.
Yeah.
You essentially put in a purposely you put in a flaw in the device, so you can just fucking.
It's like a ticking time bomb.
Exactly, and that's unethical in my opinion. Like if you make a device with that specific flaw, you never make any movements to like fix it in the next generation of the device. That's a fucking joke, and people got.
Which is weird. You know, it's weird because when you look at the release of the Air tags, they put a simple. It's a simple way to open the device. It's a simple way to replace the CR2032 battery. Like, you know, so in fact, when reviewers first got their hands on the AirTags, they were shocked at how easy they were to replace the battery. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But moving on to, going on to the report here, the report also found that tech companies failed to provide any evidence that the right to repair diminished a company's ability to innovate, threatened user security, or inhibited the company's ability to make competitive products. And do you know where this is most obvious? Is the fact that we got to this point in the first place. I mean, we used to have Windows mobile devices before the candy bar form factors came out. The iPhone, the original iPhone, did not have a removable battery. If it wasn't an easily removable battery for the consumer. But when you looked at all the other candy bar form factor devices that came out of it after it with the capacitive touchscreens, a lot of them had replaceable batteries, lithium-ion batteries. You pop them out, you pop them back in, done. Game over. From that point and further back into the future, companies were innovating and the devices were repairable. So even the government, who can be very easily bought by companies like Apple, even they said, hey, there's no way we can sell this to the American people without being outed for being blatantly corrupt. Even this, we can't co-sign this.
Well, to be honest though, Apple and the United States have a very interesting relationship as it is. Because a lot of investigative agencies like FBI will get into the iPhones of certain suspects or certain people that have been detained, and Apple will refuse to jailbreak their own device or give them government that capability. So I don't think the government wants to do Apple any favors. So
it sounds like you're gargling a money shot right now, but I will say that there's a difference between jailbreaking and repairing. This is not the same conversation, right? So we want to make sure for the audience watching and for the audience that may be watching in the future, we are not putting jailbreaking and repair in the same boat. The jailbreaking requires, the jailbreaking requires the defeat of certain security protocols, software protocols that limits hackers' ability to do damage to your device or steal your information.
Right.
And we want to make it very, very clear that the right to repair is on a whole different level than that. Not even close to the same thing.
No,
right?
I'm just saying, yeah, it's like that the government is most likely not trying to give them any type of fucking breaks. And I don't think Apple necessarily even wants to work with the government for several different reasons. But yeah, I think as a whole, repairing your own shit just makes sense.
Yeah, because that's what human beings have been doing since the dawn of time. Why in the last 5 years, 10 years, do companies like Apple and John Deere all of a sudden care about our safety? Won't you think of the repairmen? The FTC concluded there is scant evidence to support manufacturers' justifications for repair restrictions. It then encouraged state and federal legislators to consider right to repair bills and hopefully pass relevant legislation soon. And why? Why is that so important? Louis Rossmann, a popular tech YouTuber, mobile technician, and founder of FightToRepair.com, has advocated for more than 6 years and welcomed the FTC report. However, he's now waiting to see if it changes anything. He said that states have debated several bills, but none of them have passed. Rossmann told the Washington Examiner that many of these struggles have been due to the financial and lobbying influences of Verizon, Apple, and other companies, corporations. You know who the fuck they are. Mm-hmm. So, looking at, I just want to be sure that there was nothing else here. Because, they have to sell you a bunch of shit. This was, something that just popped up in my Google News feed, right? Mm-hmm. My Google News feed doesn't show Louis Rossmann's videos in it. This just so happened to come out. And another thing that I think that you guys might find to be interesting, because we're going to just do a Google search. Ain't Mr. Google search. FTC right to repair. You click on that. The FTC's report, dated May 1st, is here. The Verge, ExtremeTech.com, TechDirt.com, Protocol.com, PCMag.com, 24x7mag.com, Recycling Today. Ladies and gentlemen, right to repair has finally hit the motherfucking mainstream. And I feel honored to have even known someone who has had a hand in what has become a major movement, because whether you're on the right or the left, the center, if you're an alt-right guy or a radical leftist, we can all agree that what these corporations are doing is blatantly selfish, blatantly greedy. Just check out Louis Rossmann's CBC News piece. That'll tell you everything you need to know. So, it just makes me very happy to see that this is out there. Holy shit. I think I accidentally...
What?
Wow, I think I accidentally clicked on the actual FTC report. There are a lot of pages to this report. 55 pages. Now, I'm not going to go over this 55-page report. Not on this show. You know, Lewis may have or might in the future cover this directly. But it won't be me. It won't be me. No. But, you know, again, big ups to Louis Rossman. It's just been it's been crazy getting to know that extraordinary man. That extraordinary man also, as you guys have found out on this channel, he has a real legitimate bone to pick with how various public agencies here in New York City are run, to the point where he wants to run away from New York City. I don't want to lose my friend. But when I read stories like what I'm about to show you right now, I think that many of you will continue to agree with what Mr. Rossman has to say on the state of New York City and how the government is run. Because I read this article and I was really annoyed. So we got a New York City parks simp here. Named Victor San Andreas. I think that San Andres, excuse me. Hey, you know, I like that the Grand Theft Auto. So I saw San Andreas. It's Andres. San Andres. He walked by the park and said, "Well, this looks like shit." Okay? That's what this really says. I realize there's a lot of potential in this park. No, this looks like shit. Okay? So there's a park in the Bronx near Riverdale where there's money. We're talking about well-to-do money is over there. Okay? He did a lot of legwork. He cleared a lot of space. He started making repairs. Trying to make it look good. And that's not his fucking job. It's supposed to be the job of the Parks Department. So, he's doing the job that the Parks Department here in New York City should be doing. Would you like to know what the Parks Department actually did? The Parks Department told San Andres to stop his unsanctioned landscaping. Quote, we appreciate the spirit of voluntarism. It is important that the public work with our agency when they feel compelled to do projects in city parks, the department said in a statement. To drive the point home, a lock on the gate now bars access to the newly cleared area. Now, Captain Paul will tell you, I've been trying to convince this man to consider getting a place in or around New York City so we can get a studio space as we continue to grow this platform. What have you been telling me What have you been telling me about that?
The New York's a fucking shithole. I just wouldn't want to move there. I just think it's so much bullshit that you got to deal with in New York City. Like, I don't know. I'm not a fan of New York City. I'm just not. I think it's, like, overrated. I think it's disgusting. I think it's not well kept up with. The story kind of even proves the point where when you have somebody that's doing something good, they give them shit for it. It's like, okay. Like, he's cleaning up something that you should properly maintain. And mind you, people are fucking douchebags in the litter, but let's keep it 100. Like, these fucking people don't do their job. They're not upkeeping with the fucking parks like they should, and then they're gonna give a guy shit for it. Makes no fucking sense. You know, and it's kind of the problem as a whole with New York City. It's just the way it's run, the living experience. I would rather fucking live in Chernobyl than New York City personally. Because at least I know the fucking type of radiation I'm taking in. I don't know. I'm not a fan of New York City. Never will be. I just think it's overrated, overpriced, shithole. And
What?
you know, I could speak for hours on my 8 in New York City, especially even from a person that works on the water and sees like how disgusting it is. Yeah, no, I'm not a fan.
Well, in addition to that insight, we just found out what Paul would sound like as he's drowning to death.
Is it that bad?
Yeah, but I can understand you. It's just that, you know, I had to really have the desire to understand you, because these could have been the very last words you ever said as you're drowning.
Yeah. You want me to go try it like outside?
I mean, hey, if you can make that happen, that would be great, because you know a lot of the a lot of the criticism we've taken hasn't had much to do with our content as much as it's, you know, with the sound. So if there's something you could do about the sound, that'd be awesome. But, you know, this is for those who actually could hear what the fuck he was saying. And I guess for those who couldn't. Basically, he says that the state of New York City is fucking shitty. And people from outside New York City don't look at it the same way they might have looked at you. They may have looked at New York City in the past. You know, New York City had a lot of prestige, you know. A lot of people look at New York City and say it's kind of a cesspool. Sorry, it doesn't have the same cachet as it used to. And, you know, one of the things that Lewis would definitely say about this is look at how the New York City agencies handle these kinds of situations. Whoa, what the fuck is up with this webpage? The fuck? Yo. CBS News. See? Even your news. I probably just have to go to the full site. Okay, yeah. Like, come on. So, I got some bullshit playing in my fucking ear. Don't want to hear it. Okay. So, of course, people who live in New York City, they support what he's doing. But the Parks Department is not supporting what he's doing. The Parks Department would rather... Oh, let's see if we can add this young man back to the stream. Okay, now you're going to blind everybody. It's okay.
Sorry, dude. Is this better at all?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you definitely sound like you took the cock, the balls, the semen. Get it? Semen. You took it out of your mouth. You got out of the Matrix safely. How you doing, Paul?
I'm doing good, man. Sorry, we're gonna have to figure this out. I think I'm gonna have to get that the mic's ordered. So hopefully next time when I'm home.
It wasn't the microphone. It's not the microphone. It was the connection.
Really? Was that? That sucks. Yeah, because I'm full bars now. I had a few inside my stateroom. So,
Yeah.
um, so shit. Fucking
Well, he's the captain now. Okay, so when Louis Rossman is talking about leaving New York City, this is the kind of fucking shit he's talking about. When you hear Captain Paul with the ocean in his lungs saying, "I think the ocean I'm drowning in right now with my horrible audio, I think it's disgusting. When I look at the city, it's disgusting. It's inconvenient, etc., etc." This is the kind of shit that he's talking about.
Mm-hmm. I just I just don't think like for me as somebody that's outside of New York and somebody that's kind of been around and like been on the water, looked at it like as you know, like I sometimes get on the boat via Staten Island or sometimes in like Red Hook, Brooklyn, and it's just not a draw, man. And especially for the cost of living, for like the quality of living you get, it doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Because I could go, I'm not a big fan of Connecticut, but I could go to Connecticut in certain areas, get a place far cheaper, probably the same quality, and just doesn't, I don't know. Like I get the draw, it's a city, but like, you know, I live in Rhode Island, which is about a 3-hour drive. I think the quality of life is far better. And like that's the big thing for me. Like I got to be able to like enjoy my life, which I think in New York is just not for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I'll say this, if New York City was far more affordable and it wasn't like fucking 220,000 or something around that minimum just to buy a studio fucking apartment, I'd actually be intrigued to see, okay, like maybe if I try it out, it's different because it's city and stuff like that. But like, bro, like I'm not going to spend like a fucking $250,000 for a fucking studio apartment, which most of it is like that if you're going to buy it. And obviously renting, it's like shit, you know that better than me, fucking evil. You know how expensive it is in New York. So
I do.
I don't get the draw. And then like a story like that, and I'm just repeating myself because the audio was such shit apparently, where a dude's trying to do right by the community, better the community, make shit improved. It kind of actually pisses me off that they're really gonna like treat a dude that's doing shit for free, not charging them. They should, you're unauthorized landscaping. Like, fuck you. You doing it for free? Doing it better than the people that you fucking pay.
Now that's some real captain sounds there.
Yeah,
We bring you to real here on the Talking Shit podcast.
So like a recreational boat just like cut off a fucking barge trying to come into a slip right here to offload. I'm assuming either oil or probably gas actually here. And
also, rich douchebags act the same on the water, is what you're saying. That's like on the road.
Oh, bro, like what a dickhead. But yeah, just cut off. What an idiot. That's like okay. That's the equivalent of that's like an equivalent of a Prius slamming brake checking a fucking like an 18-wheeler. That's the equivalent of what just happened on the water.
That makes so much sense.
So like for my
except that it wouldn't be a Prius. It probably would be like, something else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not too many rich assholes are driving Prius.
Yeah, by like an electric fucking Mercedes then.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I want to talk about that electric Mercedes. There's a lot I want to talk about on cars, so we're gonna be covering some of the shit that's coming out with these cars. I've got later on this summer, you guys will probably see I'll be in a new vehicle, so look out for that. Because the vehicle I have is pretty nice, but I'm excited about what I'm looking to get toward the middle of the end of the summer. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that now that you mention it, that Mercedes SQS is something.
Shit. How much?
I think it starts at like, 120.
Shit, couldn't even afford that Shit.
Oh, it's not SQS. It's the EQS. That's what they call it, the EQ.
Yo, bro, fuck that. Yo, just buy that and live out of it. You know what I mean? Be cheaper than like living. You know what I mean?
Nah, you already know who the target demo is, because the problem is, the Tesla vehicles are cool and all, but the problem that people have is with the interior. Now, Tesla has realized this, and they are improving for the 2021 or to the 2022 model year. Tesla is improving the interior quality of the materials, or the quality of the interior materials. I'm going to speak English. I swear to God, at some point in my life, I'm going to speak English. The quality of the interior materials, they're stepping it up for the next generation of the Model S, because you've got the Porsche Taycan, which looks kind of similar. If we're being honest, it looks kind of similar to the Tesla Model S, and the Mercedes EQS looks very similar to the Tesla Model S. That could be a good thing or a bad thing, especially if you're Mercedes and you're supposed to be the cream of
Creme de la crop.
you're supposed to be the top.
Yeah.
The cream of the crop. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, but
that was the phrase I was looking for.
But I think when it comes to these cars, especially these electric cars, is that a lot of them are just kind of expensive. A lot of Tesla kind of came down with a lot of their prices. I think they have like more of an economy type car now, right? You can correct me if I'm wrong, where it's a little bit more affordable. I didn't actually know about that with the seat quality. Like the interior was really bad, so so it was just really like just would get.
It's just really bare. It's boring. Yeah. It's bare.
Okay.
People don't really like, like when the Model S was positioned to be a luxury sedan.
Mm.
So when it doesn't feel luxury on the inside, people are going to look at the Porsche Taycan. They're going to look at the Mercedes EQS, which are direct competitors, and they're actually giving you a luxury experience on the inside of the vehicle. Mm-hmm. I mean, have you seen the 53-inch display in the dash on the EQS? Holy mother of God. You haven't seen it?
No, I haven't.
I got to pull that shit up, right?
Yeah, now, because I'm kind of curious. So, like, 52-inch?
That's what she said.
Want a little captain there. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, it's going to be interesting to see with a lot of these models, because I know you said, like, I'm assuming when you say that Tesla copied, not Tesla, sorry, Mercedes and Porsche copied kind of like what Tesla had. Are you saying like the interior, like the
exterior?
But like maybe I'm.
So are you able to see it? Are you able to see it?
Let me pull up. What you send in Discord?
Nah, I got it up on the screen.
Oh no, I don't see it.
All right, so we're gonna check out the Rob report here. Okay. The Rob report. They didn't give me what I wanted. Still figuring out how this screen share shit works. But anyway, yeah, we're gonna go to the Rob report here and check this shit out.
Holy shit!
Mercedes electric EQS will offer a gigantic, well, they say 56-inch. Sounds like a little bit of penis pumping here, but it's none of my business. The dashboard on this shit is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's they say that the display is 53 inches across the board. But it's really 3 different displays. Yeah. Which I'm not going to front, this shit is butter. Now the vehicle that I'm getting, it'd be about 30 inches, which covers the middle area There won't be like a screen for the passenger. The latest generation Mercedes with their their MBUX is really good. I can't wait to get out of the Mercedes that I'm in right now because I hate Command with a fucking passion. But they've got like this whole, MBUX thing, the screen, the touch screen, everything is all configurable. It's a beautiful thing. But yeah, like when you've got an interior like this in a vehicle that kind of looks like a Tesla Model S on the outside, and you get all of this and the stitched leather everywhere and the ambiance, all the lighting everywhere. Tesla, you got to step the fuck up. Sorry, you just got to do it. You got to do it.
I don't disagree with you. The only thing I'll give Tesla, just as a benefit of the doubt, is compared to Mercedes, compared to Porsche, they don't necessarily have the history, right? Like they don't have that long tenure of producing cars like that. So hopefully they see this and they realize in the next model, like, hey, like we need to step up, make sure that we also we give them all the technology, we give them exactly what they're asking for when they're looking for an electric car, but we also give them the creature comforts that everyone likes from higher end cars. Because if I'm spending a ton of money on a Tesla, which generally, I know they made the economy, but generally before, like they were pretty fucking expensive vehicles, and if they're kind of
still pretty fucking expensive.
Yeah, they are still pretty fucking expensive, but like, if I'm spending that much money on a car, dude, I want it to be fucking like legit. I want everything to be working. I want everything to be fucking going well. I don't want like my fucking either leather falling apart or just being fucking kind of bare. It makes no sense on the price tag. I understand the configuration, how the motors work. It's expensive, but you're also gonna have to throw in some additions to kind of sweeten it if I'm spending that much fucking money.
Right.
Especially.
I mean, before they could just rest on their laurels. They could just rest on their laurels because there was no one else competing with them in the EV space. I mean, if you wanted an electric car,
True.
You had to get some real crappy looking shit that felt even worse on the inside than the offerings that Tesla had.
Yeah, you're right.
Louis Rossman has a Tesla Model 3.
Oh, does he?
And I sat in it, and I was impressed. I was impressed, except that, when he took delivery of it, they had some imperfections because, of course, the initial build quality has been the bugaboo for Tesla since the beginning. And I saw it while I was in Louis' car. He pointed it out. I probably would not have seen it if he didn't point it out. But he's like, look! He's like, he spent, a good amount of money for that Model 3 and waited a little while for it, too. So he's definitely going to notice all the shit that was up with it that,
Of course, bro. When you spend that much fucking money on something, you're going to, of course, want to make sure everything's legit.
Mm-hmm.
That's like common fucking sense. If I'm spending that much money, like it's like if you're buying a house, essentially, it makes.
Say that again?
For a second?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Now, repeat what you said. Well, I guess we're going to figure out what's going on with him in a bit. But yeah, Tesla's definitely going to have to step it up. And, let's see. We got him back? Nope, we don't have him back. Well, perhaps we will, perhaps we won't. But anyway, Tesla's going to have to step it up because Mercedes is not coming. Mercedes is here. And all of these other luxury automakers, they got some crazy shit coming too. Okay, I'm going to switch gears here. I'm going to start talking about a couple of things that really, I don't know if I'm going to have to do a Peter Griffin style, what grinds my gears type of segment. I might be on my way, though. Might be on my way. Let's see if we got the captain back. We got you back, Captain?
Yeah, sorry. Someone called me, so... fucked
so you tell them to fuck off. Okay, so... I'm going to cover this story here. As you guys know, you're not going to hear very many feminist talking points on this channel. You will not. However, I'm going to run with this story right here. This story irked my motherfucking nerves. Are you able to see this, Captain?
I actually read that article you sent it to me.
Which article?
The one that the massage therapist that.
Okay, I just wanted to see if you were able to see it on your screen. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How can I put this in a way that does justice to how I feel about this? Have we gone from infantilizing adult women in sexual situations, and now we're infantilizing young men? Strapping young men? We're talking about Division I college football players. Let's go through this article, because this article pissed me the whole bleep off. Massage therapist targeted Ohio State football players for bedroom fun, University says. At least 5 Buckeyes said they engaged in fun activities with the woman. In our society, we have seen a push towards demonizing men for being attracted to women. Now, it seems, we're now targeting women for being attracted to attractive men? What world are we living in? I don't understand. I don't understand. Yo, Paul, what's going on, man?
I don't know. I fucking switched for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's tighten it up. Now we're demonizing a woman for wanting to engage physically with the kind of men women everywhere want to engage with. Women target athletes, high-level athletes, all over the world every minute of every day. Why are we demonizing? Why? What? A massage therapist engaged in, quote, inappropriate and exploitative behavior targeting members of the Ohio State football team, end quote. It doesn't say anywhere. They made her they made her surrender her license to state regulators. But when you read the fucking article, it doesn't show anything about where she put them in any danger whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about attacking women unfairly? I think this is it.
So, and I hate to say this because I just realized we're gonna be heading out here soon, so I gotta head out soon. But I'm just gonna say a quick piece. I think if you're a Division I athlete, you're big, strong. You're essentially a quote unquote alpha, right? You're driven. You're a big dude. You're a big fucking dude, and you're telling me that a massage therapist force you to have these types of acts with her? You know what I'm saying? It's absolutely fucking ludicrous. And as we both said, we're not feminists, but we're even keeled, dude. We're gonna call out the bullshit. You know what I mean? And that's what I feel like. A lot of this is just pandering fucking bullshit. If you're a fucking dude that's in a D1 program and you're going to a massage therapist, right? Who what is she then? Physically intimidate you, or you know what I mean? It just.
And they're not even claiming that. The players are not claiming that.
No, I know. I'm just saying, bro. When I saw some comments and some even talk about social media, listen, like these are like grown ass men making grown ass decisions,
Mm-hmm.
and what they do in their fucking private life is their fucking business.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that like let's stop. I do say this sometimes. I even have to check myself. I'm like, oh, yo, he was 18, he didn't know much. Mind you, 18-year-old, 19, 20-year-olds, like they're young, dumb, they're gonna make mistakes. I think I'm not saying it's a mistake, but like let's say they kind of like they have some type of regret with that relationship, bro. Like the part of the growing process is making mistakes as an adult and learning like, oh, yo, I shouldn't have done this, shouldn't do this, but like just kind of like I don't know. It's just like you're kind of neutering dudes in a way by like, oh, like fucking, I can't believe this. Like they, like what's she gonna do? Like fucking beat him up? You know what I mean? It's just.
That's not even where you were going with this. The massage therapist carried out her scheme from 2018 through 2021, largely in off-campus housing or in hotels. She occasionally, but not always, allowed the player to pay for the first massage. She often refused to accept payment when the football student athletes attempted to pay her. Her scheme, as uncovered in the investigation, included providing or offering to provide the football student athletes with receipts as if they had paid. Okay. While the report casts all the sexual encounters as non-criminal, the school says it has turned the findings over to local prosecutors. If they're non-criminal, what the fuck are the prosecutors supposed to do with that?
I don't know. Nothing.
According to the current and former football student athletes interviewed, the activities that occurred were consensual.
Then why are we making a big deal of this?
If this is the case, we need to turn over all of the women, all of the attractive women who have ever been around a college campus that wanted to have bedroom fun with the most popular, the most alpha guys, then have all of their professional credentials taken away. Because what woman, 7, 8, 9s, or 10s, what woman, when exposed to these guys, what scheme are you talking about? What are you talking about?
But yo, I gotta go. So apologize about that. But with the whole work thing, I didn't need it. So I'm gonna hop off here, bro. You're 100% right. I agree with you. It's fucking. We're living in a fucking lunacy world, honestly. Like it's just fucking insane. But let me hop off here. There's also getting on the show for about an hour, 45 minutes or so. And a quick little plug, if you guys are watching, make sure to follow and subscribe. So, but I'll check you later, bro.
All right, man. Yeah, so, Xenon, how you doing? Yeah, Xenon, there is no crime there. Okay, license trouble, I get that. However, what fucking scheme are you talking about? She didn't try to procure money from these men. And if anything, she was saving the money. She was like, hey, just give me the protein shake and we good. What problem could you possibly have with this? An attractive young woman that wanted to have fun with attractive young men, all above the age of 18. No money exchanged hands. Nobody was coerced in any way. Nobody had... What is the fucking problem here? And again, we've talked about the falling marital rates. We've talked about the falling birth rates. We've talked about all of these things. What What are you... What? What? You're turning over your findings. Yo, she let him know what her internal organs do. They shift around to accommodate. She gave him that good feng shui action. And that's a fucking problem? You're the Ohio State University, and you are using your investigative tools to investigate a scheme of a thoughting it up. What? Are you going to investigate 35% of the women that attend your university? Because I know, there's a lot of bedroom fun, a lot of schemes to have sex with attractive young men. A lot of those schemes are going on campus. What are you doing? So, if anybody wants to have a movement against this kind of shit, sign me up. I'll work with you on that movement. No doubt. I have no problem advocating on behalf of the young women out there who are engaging in consensual physical fun in good faith. No money changed hands. They couldn't even build a prostitution case against this woman. She just wanted to provide mutual happy endings. I'm going to share something with you guys that is almost as stupid. Yeah. Car bursts into flames when smoking driver uses hand sanitizer. I'm going to say that one more time for you. One more time. Car bursts into flames when smoking driver uses hand sanitizer. Now, I find this to be particularly amusing. Slightly less stupid than the previous story. I can understand how somebody might not understand what hand sanitizer is, what it's composed of, or how flammable it may be. And maybe I'm stretching a little bit too hard. Maybe I'm stretching too hard to show some sort of sympathy or empathy. But goodness fucking gracious, this is some dumbass shit. Like, you don't know that hand sanitizer is a flammable substance? I'm not even gonna front. I hate cigarettes. I hate them. I hate them with a fucking passion. But can you imagine this guy sitting in his car, lights up a cigarette, one of the dirtiest, nastiest things, and while he's smoking the cigarette, actively soiling himself. You know what? I think that this is going to kill some germs. Mm-hmm. Really, son? They said this motherfucker went up like a Molotov cocktail. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. As you see, I'm not going to click on this because, you know, you're not going to hear the audio anyway, but I mean, look at that motherfucking car. Look at that motherfucking car. Yo! Nicholas says, how does someone commit arson on themselves? Yo! Like, I mean, when I saw this, I thought this was the stupidest thing I had seen until I saw that Ohio State University was conducting an investigation on a woman who wanted to provide bedroom happy time free of charge. Of course, this article doesn't just stop with this idiot. This isn't the first time that the skin sterilization serum has sparked an inferno. Last September, a Texas woman suffered severe burns after hand sanitizer on her skin reportedly caught fire and exploded as she was lighting a candle. Why are you doing that? Why? Hey everybody, I'm gonna clean my hand. Oh, let me go light this candle. I mean the UK taxi driver, you feel bad for him. You might, hey, you forgot something. But this guy? Hey, let me do one of the most filthy, disgusting things you can do. And then call myself cleaning my hands. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, folks. I had to. Nicholas is a fucking savage. Yeah, I think all the germs were killed in this situation, Nicholas. Absolutely. I mean, I'm sorry. The stupidity. I just can't abide by it. All right. We're going to switch over to a story coming out of the UFC. Of course, we've got UFC 262 occurring this evening on ESPN pay-per-view. I will be purchasing, and I hope that some of you might, and then come join me for my filthy casual MMA watch party that will be occurring 15 minutes prior to the start of the early prelims. I watch all the fights. So I will be here after my workout. I will be here right for you. And if you guys want to watch the event with me, I'm going to be here, and I hope that you join. If you're not going to pay for the actual pay-per-view, and you guys have ESPN Plus or what have you, and you're going to watch the early prelims and or the prelims, come chill with your boy Dr. Evil. We'll make a nice Saturday evening out of it. So episode 2 of the Filthy Casual MMA Watch Party will be occurring in just a few hours. But I want to pull up this story right here because I got my wish. Dr. Evil got his wish. It doesn't happen very often, but it happened here. Okay, those who watched the watch party from last week, you guys saw my reaction when DeLima laid on top of this man. I was hoping that the victory, and he looks like Patrick Starr, by the way, the guy that laid on top of this guy. I've strongly disliked Maurice Green since The Ultimate Fighter. I don't remember the name of the lady. It might have been Shanna Dobson, who I think was recently released from the promotion. But this Maurice Green guy, he calls him the Crochet Boss, is one of the most creepiest individuals that you'll find. If you go back and you watch the Ultimate Fighter season that he was on, if you did not see a creep, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. But I've been anti-Maurice Green since the fucking beginning of his UFC career. I've been rooting for this man to lose each and every time out. And finally, they got this motherfucker out of here. Patrick Starr laid on top of him for much of the 15 minutes because he has no takedown defense. Of course, I do not like the way that DeLima won the fight. Let me make that fucking clear. I don't like this I don't want to fight approach that these fighters have been taking recently. Oh, well, I'm fighting a striker who is somewhat skilled, and maybe I may not, I don't know, maybe, I don't know what the fuck these guys are thinking. But if you're going to go into the cage, fucking fight. If you are going to be wrestling and grappling heavy, advance your position for a chance at a submission or ground and pound to get a finish to the fight. And what we've been seeing over the last 2 or 3 months, motherfuckers doing their very best to not fight. They want to get their hand raised by the referee, but they don't want to fight. So to be clear, I want to be painfully fucking clear. I do not like the way DeLima won this fight. But it was useful in getting Maurice Green the fuck out of the UFC. I never wanted to see that motherfucker in the UFC, and now he's gone. And I'm fucking happy. The judges scored the fight 30-26, 30-26, and 30-27. And the only reason why it was even that close is because DeLima didn't do anything. He just wanted to lay on him. So, goodbye, Crochet Boss. Wish I never knew you. Fuck out of here. So that leads me into what we expect to see tonight. I'm only going to go over some of the main card stuff. I'll go over the entire card prior to the start of UFC 262. We're getting it looks like we're supposed to get 3 fights in the early prelims. That's what it looks like. Okay. Sean Soriano versus Christos Gallegos. Can't say that I know either one of these guys, but one of the things that I love about watching MMA, specifically in the UFC, is that the guys that you don't know that show up in the early prelims, these guys want to be known. So you know what these motherfuckers do on the early prelims and the prelims? The guys that are not household names, they go out there looking to finish the motherfucking fight. So some of the best fights that you will see on a fight card will occur during the early and the regular prelims. Because these motherfuckers fight like they don't have anything to lose. So even though I don't have a whole lot of knowledge about Christos Gallegos and Sean Soriano, I'm expecting there to be fucking fireworks. Especially out of the lightweight division, which is one of the more powerful. It's got the perfect combination of speed and power. I don't know either of these guys. I'm expecting a finish. Kevin Aguilar versus Tucker Lutz. Tucker Lutz is 11-1. So there's a reason why he's in the UFC. I may have seen Kevin Aguilar fight once, and it was not boring. So I'm looking for that. The featured early prelim would be Gina Mazzani versus some nameless person. They didn't even fucking put her face up here. But there's a 3.5-inch reach. What? No, there's something wrong. That fight might be done. There's something I'm about to say. What? How's that a 3-inch? And then you look and it's two different weight classes. Something's going on with the early prelims. There's probably some sort of news on that. Maybe a late step in. I don't know why that would be the featured. But anyway, I wanted to focus on the main card anyway. But I just want you guys to know that you really should come check out the Filthy Casual MMA Watch Party right here on YouTube and Twitch, right where you're at right now. Because it's going to be fireworks in the early prelims. But I want to talk about this main card that I am moderately excited for. So let's go in. For the opener, one of our local guys, Shane Burgos, versus one of the most flashy, entertaining fighters in the history of the UFC, Edson Barboza, fighting at 145. Edson Barboza is the only fighter in UFC history to have finished fights with a head kick, a body kick, and a leg kick. He's the only one. When this guy's ankle bone hits you in the head, it is night-night. This guy, I've seen this guy get brutalized. I've seen this guy do the brutalizing. This mofo don't give a fuck about nothing. This fight is a contender for fight of the night, guaranteed. Caitlin Chukagian versus Vivian Araujo. I don't really care too much about this fight. When Caitlin Chukagian fought the chick that just lost, who just lost to the Bullet, Valentina Shevchenko. I think it looked like she took something like a liver shot and she just crumpled. She was supposed to be fighting for the belt. I'm not really. Matthew Christopher Schnell versus Rogerio Bontorin. Two very fast fighters. So this should have like a lot of action to it. Both of these guys fight really hard. As far as one of the more interesting fights on this card, Tony Ferguson versus Beneal Daryush. Tony Ferguson was on a 12-fight winning streak. And then he lost to Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje beat the fuck out of Tony Ferguson. And then one of the challengers for the vacant lightweight belt, Charles Oliveira, made him look like whatever is just above a white belt. Whatever that ranking is, he made Tony Ferguson look like that. Now, to give Tony Ferguson a bit of credit, it looked like Charles Oliveira broke his arm. I believe it was at the end of round 1 or the end of round 2. He fucked that arm up. And he did not quit. So major props to Tony Ferguson. As far as it depends upon Beneal Daryush, he came into the UFC, highly touted, had a couple of nice wins, had a couple of bad losses. Now, I tried rooting for this guy, and then I've seen him do some really stupid shit in the cage. Where it's just kind of like, dude, you're kind of hard to root for. Come on. This is definitely going to tell you whether or not Tony Ferguson is finished as an elite fighter. So it's interesting to me on that level. A less interesting fight would be the main event, which is Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler for the lightweight title. I have a problem with this matchup, folks. For many of you who don't know me, I was complaining about this when they matched this up. After we saw Dustin the Diamond Poirier beat the shit out of Conor McGregor, you would think that that would have been enough. An established MMA star like Conor McGregor for Poirier to get that shot at the title. Do I have a problem with Charles Oliveira getting the title shot? No. I don't have a problem with Charles Oliveira being in the title in the title picture, fighting for the belt. My problem is with Michael fucking Chandler. He beat a guy who, I mean, everybody loves Dan Hooker. I love Dan Hooker. But Dan Hooker he just finished getting his head beat in by Dustin Poirier. He didn't even win his previous fight. So you have Michael Chandler, whose last fight in Bellator, and I don't give a fuck what you gotta say. Bellator, second rate in terms of competition. They're not a regional. They're not bad. But I've watched the fighters in Bellator. And very, very, very few of them are UFC caliber. Even among some of the champions. And what I mean by UFC caliber, I'm talking about holding a high spot in UFC. Almost everybody in Bellator could be in the UFC, or they were in the UFC in the past. But Michael Chandler lost to Pitbull. He lost to Patricio Pitbull, leaves the organization, Bellator, steps up, has a fight, one fight, against a guy who lost. And now he's fighting for the belt? No! No. The answer is no. No. Unacceptable. Dustin Poirier has been fighting and beating the best the UFC has to offer, with the exception of Khabib Nurmagomedov. But then again, nobody has beaten Khabib. So with all things being even, Dustin Poirier should be at the top of the lightweight division, he should be fighting for the belt. Not one guy who is 1-0 in the UFC against a guy who we've seen lose a couple fights recently. So I'm going to make my bias known right here and now. Even though I do weirdly expect, and I probably should not expect this, but it's my weird expectation. I probably got Michael Chandler as a slight favorite. I've got him as a slight favorite because even though I don't like him getting a title shot off of one win versus a guy coming off a loss, I find him to be a very explosive wrestler. But then again, Charles Oliveira's won a bunch of fights in a row. And Tony Ferguson is a real tough cookie. But he made Tony Ferguson look like an amateur. My bias is definitely towards Oliveira. And I've been watching Charles Oliveira choke people out. I like watching him fight. I like the attitude that he displays in the cage. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So I'm definitely going to put my $65 up. I will be here with you guys. They say that the early prelims are supposed to start at 6:30. Who knows if that's actually going to happen. But I will be here. One of my ladies, you can call her Mrs. Evil or Up Your Ram. She may be here for parts helping me to host the Filthy Casual MMA watch party. And I think that is going to be a lot of fun because we'll have you guys here. Or at least some of you. So we're going to be doing this every time that there's an event going on a Saturday evening. I'm going to be right here talking to you awesome motherfuckers. And we are going to enjoy tonight's event together. Khalifa Yeager puts out a hello. How are you doing today? Thank you for joining us. We are signing off. But I will be back in about... If the event still starts at 6:30 p.m., I will be back here for the Filthy Casual MMA watch party. I will be here for that. 15 minutes prior to the start of the event. And so until then, definitely, do all the YouTube stuff. Make sure you hit the like button because we need it for the algorithm. For the UFC, yes, Khalifa. Yes. We will be here for UFC 262. We will be here. If you are not ordering the event, at least stick around for the early prelims and the prelims. And if you are going to purchase, definitely put a window up on your computer or, check us out on your mobile device here on YouTube, or if you've got a Twitch account, definitely follow us over there. We're at TALKIN_SH_T on Twitch. If you're good sticking around on the YouTube, you know where we are. But I will be doing this watch party thing right here on YouTube and Twitch. And so we'll see you in about 4 hours time, depending on whether or not the early prelims will have 3 fights on the card or just 2. But no matter what time it starts, I will be here 15 minutes prior to. So let me go, get my grub on. Let me go get my workout on because, these muscles don't create themselves. And I will see you later on tonight for some of you. And for the rest of you, for episode 5 of the Talking Shit Podcast. So until then, peace.